Welcome back to another episode of CineWatch Live. I think this is episode 7 now. I have no new news today. Unfortunately, we are still recording over the internet due to lockdown, so we can't obviously record together. But yeah, so I think we'll get straight into this episode with our top. What are we on now? I have no idea.
40 to 31.
40 to 31. Okay, yeah. So 40 to 31. Sophie.
Right, brilliant. So my number 40 is a horror film that I first saw when I was on holiday, and it's by one of my favourite actor-director person. It's Ghost Stories.
Is that the one that's on Netflix?
I don't know if either of you... I think it is on Netflix, yeah. I mean, I think it was brilliantly written. It was also made into a play, apparently, which was really scary, like in Black scary play-wise. But I mean, I think it's just genius.
Wait, how old
plot
is this?
twists and stuff like that.
Is this the one with Martin Freeman?
Yeah, that's what I was
Freeman,
thinking of. Yeah, that is on Netflix.
2017. It was 3 years old.
Yeah.
Really, 3 years?
Yeah, there's not like one sole plot twist. There's a big plot twist, but there's just loads of plot twists kind of looped into it, and the story is amazing, and there's also some great jump scares. And I mean, I don't love jump scares, but they are really, they're not like necessary. They're perfectly timed jump scares, if you know what I mean.
I get you. I haven't seen it personally, but I know that's been on my list for a long time. But yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I think we talked about it in film quite a bit, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the poster on the wall, so, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Well, my number 40 is Jurassic Park 3.
Ooh.
I've got the whole trilogy on here, but I'm starting with the third one.
I can't say much about Jurassic Park because I haven't seen all of them.
Which ones have you seen?
First one
Okay,
and half of the second, I think.
As long as you've seen the first one.
I've seen all of them, but I only remember... I do not remember the second at all, so I'm definitely going to have to rewatch it. I remember the first well. I remember the third opening scene. But I haven't seen...
That's the one with the kid on the island, isn't it?
But
the second one?
I can't remember the second one, to be honest. I've seen it.
The second one's the one where it's Ian Malcolm. It's Jeff Goldblum's character is the main guy, and they have the trailer hanging off the cliff when the T-Rex had come.
What, in the second one?
That's the second one.
Maybe I haven't seen it then. Maybe I read the book. I don't know. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
They're all really good, in my opinion, but I'm putting the third one at the bottom just because my least favourite of the three.
Fair.
Not for any particular reason. I just found them... I think it's one of those trilogies where it just gets gradually... Not worse as such, but not as good as it gets through.
The first one.
Are you a fan of the Jurassic Worlds?
I like them. They're fun to watch, but they're not as good as the original trilogy.
No, I agree. It's going to be
I think they're trying too hard.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, that was just... It was a bit far, really. It became almost too sci-fi, sort of.
Became too Hollywood, in a way.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a good way of putting it, too Hollywood. Especially with the way they've gone down it with the genetic engineering and that they're making their own dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But that was all right in the first one, but they then did the exact same in the second one and just made it a different dinosaur.
What was okay with, like, the original Jurassic Parks is that they made dinosaurs that were known, whereas in Jurassic Worlds, I think they just went mad and were like, oh, we've made an Indominus Rex that is not a real dinosaur, but, you know...
The fact that they're making their own ones.
Yeah.
But it's not making any sense at all.
And it's like, it's pretty much just a T-Rex just upgraded, but sure, like...
Upgrade.
But yeah.
But, like, they made that mistake in the first one and then made the exact same mistake in the second one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean...
Like, whereas with the original three, it's not like the park went wrong in the first one and then in the second one they thought, oh, we'll make another park. The second one had a completely different reason for their being there, so it made more sense.
That does pose the question, though. Obviously, it was recently announced that, like, Jurassic World is, like, a new wave of Jurassic Park films to come. Like, how many of these and how many mistakes are going to be made?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but...
You'd think these people would have learned by now.
But it gets their money, I guess.
Yeah.
Which studio is it? Is it Universal? Because if it's Universal, then then
It is Universal, yeah.
well, like they're only going to be shown in like certain cinemas then, because they've still not cleared up their whole argument. So,
Well, they might have cleared it up by then.
well, let's hope. But like currently, as it stands right now, they're still in like their argument like 3 weeks later. So
Yeah, it is Universal.
let's just hope that they do clear that up.
Yeah, hopefully. Or we'll just have to find a more difficult way of seeing it.
Yeah. Well, I know some pretty easy ways that aren't legal, but we will just. But yeah. My number 40 is a classic film for me. I've probably seen this film more than any film in my life, but like just because it was on so much when I was a child. It's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Aye, good choice.
I love it so
Alright.
much. I love it so much. It's got so many memorable scenes, like
Yeah.
and characters, and yeah, it's great. I think personally, like the whole. For me, I remember as a child, the very first probably film it was probably the very first I remember, like that and Stuart Little are the two films I remember, like as being the first films I ever saw. And that's quite.
Stuart Little was a blast from the past.
I know.
Jesus.
I need to rewatch it actually. But yeah, no, like that scene with what's her name, Trudy Scrumptious or something, in the car, and she's like going through the countryside, and it's like quite picture. Yeah. And obviously the scene, the final scene, sort of the when the old general sort of does he save them? I can't remember now. Does he something along them lines? But yeah, no, it's a great film.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely backing you on that brilliant film.
Sophie, have you seen it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Ian, so my number 39 is a film we've already spoken about. I think twice already. It's Shaun of the Dead.
Nice.
I do have all three films from. Why? No, I take that back. I have two of the films from the Cornetto trilogy on my list. Shaun of the Dead being the lowest. I think I've got Hot Fuzz a lot further up. I enjoy it. I mean, it's hilarious. I can watch it time and time again. It doesn't get old, honestly. I think I just didn't enjoy it as much as Hot Fuzz. But yeah, brilliant zombie movie. Oh, Dead. It's just such a good film. Also, I love Edgar Wright as a director. I've got a load of his films on this list, and I think he's an underrated director.
He really is. I agree with you on that. He's
agreed.
yeah.
The combination of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as well.
Yeah.
It's just a guaranteed comedy.
I actually had Shaun of the Dead as my 85, so in the very second episode, and Hot Fuzz as my 74, so in like the third episode. So yeah, I put them quite further back, but I still agree they are very enjoyable films. I don't actually have The World's End on my list though.
I don't think I do either, but I mean, I enjoyed The World's End. I just don't think I liked a lot more films over it.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, well, my 39 is kind of just continuing on from my last one, which is Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World.
Ian?
To be clear, the next one's not Jurassic Park.
I was going to ask, yeah, is there a fact here?
No, they're not all together, it's just these two. So, yeah, I think we've pretty much said everything about the second one.
What do you like from this one more than, like, why do you like this one more than the third one?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it just had a lot more memorable scenes for me. Like the trailer hanging off the cliff is brilliant. And there's a scene where they're walking through the long grass, and there's a bird's eye view shot of them going down the path and the raptors coming through the grass all at once.
Yeah.
And it's completely silent. You can just see the grass obviously disappearing as they get closer. And then the raptors, one by one, the men getting dragged down and just a tail flipping up. It's just a very memorable scene for me, and that's probably the main reason that I put it above. Just it had a lot more memorable scenes.
Fair, yeah.
My number 39 is, I think we've talked about, I think Lucas had this, or Sophie had this last episode, Psycho.
I had that, yeah.
Yeah.
Lucas had that.
So obviously we've spoken about it before. I think not really much else to say on it. I think I gave my thoughts back then. Just that it's classic. I know we say that a lot, but genuinely, I don't know how you can't enjoy Psycho in the weirdest way.
Yeah.
I'd agree, yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got to say on it, really.
It's one of the biggest standout, like, horror films of its time.
I think it is, like, the standout horror film.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, like...
Yeah.
My number 38 is, wow, So I'm kind of bringing Kevin Spacey back from
Please
the
no.
last episode.
Please no.
It's 7, but he's not the main
Yeah.
character in this, so it's 7. Yeah.
Brilliant film. It's
Probably standout performances by Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, not just Kevin Spacey.
Dodgy as he may be, it was a very good performance from him.
Yeah, it was.
Like, he was terrifying as John Doe.
I haven't seen it, actually, to be fair.
Have you not?
No, I remember our teacher, mine and Sophie's in year 12, our film teacher, talking about it. And then
Yeah.
from then on, I'd wanted to watch it and I never saw it. But
Oh, it's fantastic. It's much higher up on my list.
oh, I wish I had seen
watched
it.
like loads of clips of it in class. How did you not get it spoiled for you?
Well, I think I did get it spoiled for me. Like he showed us the ending, but he also said he promised us for a long time he would show it to us, and it just never happened.
He did promise.
I just held on hope. But yeah,
I'll definitely recommend. It's a brilliant film.
It's so good, and it's such a clever concept. Like the idea of the entire film, it's just so clever.
And it's very well executed as well.
Yeah.
It's a great combination.
I think as well. Just going back to the Spacey thing, quick. Like it brings up that conversation, like of do you disregard someone's work just for the bad person they were? Like Hitchcock, we all know wasn't a saint, yet his work was impeccable. So, like,
I think we can appreciate Spacey's performance in this film because it was just very, very well done.
yeah.
Bad
So
person as he may have turned out to be.
the person he is, we don't appreciate. The character he plays, we do appreciate.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's also like the argument of like Tarantino films. Like I'm not going to suddenly not watch Pulp Fiction just because of the Weinstein Company, even though what he did was awful. But like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to suddenly not watch these films because
exactly.
The artists, not their art.
yeah.
Well, my 38 is Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Not a massive Star Wars fan. Sorry.
Interesting. Is this your first Star Wars on the list, or is this your only Star Wars on the list?
This is my first Star Wars on the list. It is not the last one. No.
Okay.
No. But I think it's one of two.
Do you like this one?
Do I like this one?
Why?
It's a very good film, just in general, but mostly because of just what memories of watching it when I was a child. If you don't look at it from in our case, film student perspective, it's just a very enjoyable addition, I think. I enjoyed it more than the first one, which I've completely forgot the name of.
A New Hope.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
That's such a bad time to forget that. But yeah, I enjoyed it more than that, and yeah, mostly just nostalgia more than anything, but just a very enjoyable film.
I think, like, obviously, you know that I rewatched them recently, and when I rewatched them, I found in myself that I like the A New Hope. I really, really like Empire Strikes Back, like more than I remember ever liking it. Like it's a very good film, and then I as well like Return of the Jedi. So I would probably agree with you that I like Return of the Jedi over the original Star Wars, but I think all round, all three of them, even in terms of filmmaking, like they're all brilliant films and storytelling.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially for that time as well. Like that was so much more. Like that was dynamic storytelling of its time.
Completely. You can't argue with it. Whether you enjoy it or not, you have to accept that it was brilliant for its time.
It was, and it created this huge fan base that just...
Yeah, I mean, it's still going today, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You've
So
still got material coming out from Star Wars, 40, nearly 50 years on?
yeah, I was thinking about this the other
Really
day.
impressive.
I was like, in 10 years, it will be like 50 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, it was 77, A New Hope was, wasn't it?
Yeah, so wait, in 7 years then?
Okay.
That
87.
is mad.
Yeah, 7 years, and it'll be 50 years since the first Star Wars came out.
Jeez.
So just to think...
Since then, there's now 3 trilogies, 2 spin-off films, not including the Clone Wars film.
A spin-off series...
4 TV shows? Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian... Oh, maybe...
Resistance. There's so many TV shows now.
Resistance, that's the other one, but
Yeah.
no one really talks about that. All the video games, graphic novels, like it just that one. Well, this isn't even the film that I put, but the original one did just spark, or the original trilogy, it sparked so much.
It really did, and
So,
yeah.
But anyway, Return of the Jedi, I'd still put over that original one, good as it was, just because I felt it was a really good end to a trilogy.
Yeah,
As well.
yeah, I agree.
Like it allowed for like sequels and prequels, but it was final enough that they could have stopped.
Yeah. My 38 is Rocket Man.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
I haven't either.
You both. I'm so disappointed. At least
so
one
high
of
on
you
my
hasn't
list to
seen it.
watch.
I know.
Because-
same with me. I've been dying to see it. I just not.
Forget the hype of Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Like, Bohemian Rhapsody, I don't have anything wrong with Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, I can definitely see its points. Like, I don't know how it won Best Editing at the Oscars. I have to tell you, its editing is dreadful. But
Yeah, I saw this thing the other day, and it was like picking holes at why it shouldn't have won Best Editing. I was going to watch it, but I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, so I wasn't going to. I'm not going to watch it.
honestly, Sophie,
Would you put Rocket Man over Bohemian Rhapsody?
Bohemian Rhapsody's not on my list.
Fair enough.
Like, honestly, Sophie, Bohemian Rhapsody, if you want to be an editor, watch that to know what you do not need to do. Like,
I
that.
might watch that video just to find out, what I
If
can't
anything,
do, what I shouldn't do.
Use it as a teaching tool rather than a sit-down watch.
Yeah.
What not to do?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Bohemian Rhapsody aside, obviously I don't have that. Yeah, so that's not on my list, Lucas, because obviously it's not one of my favourites. But Bohemian Rhapsody aside, Rocket Man, it came out at the wrong time in the sense that even though it came out like a year and a bit later, I think, it's still, everyone was still talking about Bohemian Rhapsody. And the problem with Rocket Man was Bohemian Rhapsody, even though things like Straight Out of Compton came before it, Bohemian Rhapsody really sparked that drive for filmmakers to do these biopics on singers and stuff. And then Rocket Man came, which is, like, it is, in terms of filmmaking, it is absolutely brilliant. I cannot tell you how good it is. And it just came at this time where Bohemian Rhapsody is still in everyone's minds. And I feel like a lot of the, sort of the, what is it? I'm trying to say, like, the praise towards Bohemian Rhapsody and the lack of praise towards Rocket Man is that people very much liked Queen more than Elton John as a singer.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I agree.
it's
I prefer Elton John's music to Queen's.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
regardless of, I don't really have an opinion on either of them. Regardless of that, though, in terms of the film is so much better than Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's just a brilliant take on his life. And maybe that's because Elton John was actually an executive producer, I think, and he was on set and he was able to tell him himself, whereas Freddie Mercury, which really is what Bohemian Rhapsody was about, wasn't there himself.
Yeah, it wasn't about Queen as much as it was Freddie Mercury.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe he was, I don't know, but yeah, no, honestly, you guys need to see Rocket Man just because there are so many sequences, and actually the editing's really good in that, Sophie, and there's like sorry, I'm talking so much about it, but there's a sequence in it that is so artistic, and like, you in any other way, in a weird way, you'd think this is like a really bad film because it's just so out of the blue for what's just happened, but it's really not. It makes it so much more artistic, and it's a different way of representing a really low point in Elton's life, which is really well done. But honestly, yeah, I'd go
I
watch
definitely
it.
need to watch it.
Yeah, no, I do as well.
Yeah, no, sorry, I've gone on about it, but
That's the point.
It's for this podcast.
I know, but I just feel like it doesn't get the praise that Bohemian Rhapsody got, and it really, I would
I
actually
think
say,
you're right that it just came out at the wrong time.
yeah, I do think so. And obviously, now the Whitney Houston one's being written by the Bohemian Rhapsody guy that wrote Bohemian Rhapsody. So maybe that will get praise, especially as Whitney Houston was probably the biggest female singer in the world during her time. But
I hear they're doing one on Elvis.
yeah, they're doing one on Elvis as well. They were halfway through filming. That's where Tom Hanks they were filming in Australia for it, and that's where Tom Hanks got the coronavirus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he plays Elvis's manager, I think.
I was going to say, I take it he's not playing Elvis.
No, he's not. I know I
Who
can't
is?
remember the name. I can't remember the name of him. He's a young actor. I can't remember his name. But yeah, no.
I'll Google it.
While you're googling that, regardless, Rocket Man. Yeah, just such a good film. I would actually say I was in the cinema and it was packed. when I was in there. And this was like one of the first films, because like around our area, you know, our local cinema, Lucas, as well, it doesn't get packed that much, but like when I was in there, it was packed. So yeah, and everyone enjoyed it, I believe. Did you find out who it was? Austin Butler, that's it. Austin Butler, yeah, he's playing him. But yeah, so biopics are all the rage. Elvis and Whitney Houston coming out. Sorry, I've gone on. Sophie.
Yes, right, okay. My number 37 is... I was talking to my dad about this film the other day, and he didn't like it that much, but I love it, and I think it's one of Tom Hanks's best performances. It's Captain Phillips.
So good. So good.
Thank you. It is amazing.
Didn't that get, like, Oscar wins and everything? I don't even know, but, like...
I remember, but it's such a good... Like, I came across it, like, on TV. I didn't even, like, mean to watch it. It was just started as a film on TV, and I was like, oh, I'll watch it. But I was hooked for the entire time. It's such a good film.
And I'd agree with you on that it's one of Tom Hanks' best performances.
Yeah.
It really is.
Chris, have you seen it?
I'm not sure. I'm looking at it now. It looks like I have seen it, but I can't remember it. And I feel like I'd remember it if I'd seen it. I might have seen it when it came out and just not remember at all.
It's based on a true story.
I don't think it was, like, advertised that much. I mean, I don't remember hearing about it too much. It all looks
really familiar, but I can't think why. So I'm going to leave you on a maybe on whether or not I've seen it.
Find out next episode. Tune in.
Yeah, we'll have to wait.
But yeah.
But yeah, Captain Phillips, I mean, there's nothing more to say about it. I really think it's... I mean, if you watch it, it's just so... I don't know, it's just so good. I like every single part of it. It's like there's so many emotions in one film, and it's so well acted by not just Tom Hanks, by the rest of the cast as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it is. I believe actually the guy that plays the antagonist he wasn't even an actor, was he? He was from the area they were filming, I believe, and that was his first role. And yeah, that's sort of he's been in other stuff following that, but yeah, not really much.
One of his big his breakthrough.
Yeah.
Well, my 37 is that this is the first of about 5 films that could fall into this sort of franchise, which is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Okay.
Ooh.
There are quite a few Harry Potter / Wizarding World films on here because I grew up with the films and books and I absolutely adore them.
I could say honourable mention, definitely honourable mention for the Harry Potters, because none of them are on my list, but I will fully just sit down and watch them anytime.
They're just so good.
They really are. The books are really good. The books are better, I do have to say, though.
Oh yeah, the books are absolutely better. But the films were very good adaptations of the books.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot missing from them, but I feel like they put in what they could, and if they'd tried to fit in more, they would have ruined them.
There's been worse, like, book-to-film adaptations.
Much, much worse. I'd say these are some of the best in terms of characters.
Definitely.
I really like the darker tone of the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, to be honest, a lot of the Harry, but I really enjoyed and it was the way it was more of a chase film to an extent, because they're on the run for most of it, aren't they?
Yes. Did you know, fun fact about Harry Potter films, and make both of you going, did you know that Tim Roth was originally cast for Snape?
Of course you'd know that.
Oh,
but he didn't take it because he was doing something else. I can't remember what film, but he didn't take it. So
I know you love Tim Roth, but he was crap Snape.
Yeah, I when I heard it, I was like, I love him, but I don't think anyone could have done it better than Alan Rickman. Right?
Well, can you honestly imagine him with the long black greasy hair and the robe?
No.
Exactly.
Oh well.
That might just be because Alan Rickman was so iconic as it, but I honestly could never ever see Tim Roth doing that.
Just a fun fact for you all there.
Thank you.
I'll be honest, I don't like Harry Potter.
Right, bye.
Oh.
Look,
what are we doing?
And I tried to watch all of them in one go. Not even in one go, like over a certain amount of time, but like all of them. And I got to halfway through Half-Blood Prince and was so bored, so I just stopped halfway through.
One of the better ones.
That's like one of the best ones.
Oh, it was so boring. I just think Harry Potter is like Marmite. You either love it or hate it, and I just don't like it.
Fair, I can't say much because I don't like the Star Wars films, so I think we should
Exactly.
let Brad
That's
have
Star Wars. That's acceptable. This is Harry Potter.
It is not
I mean-
acceptable.
At least he's seen them. I mean, I've got a friend who's never seen the Harry Potter films or read the books.
Well, that's not a friend, Sophie.
I tried reading the
That's
books
what
as well, and I
you
was
call a
so
reject.
bored by the books. Like, I just don't think wizarding is really my thing. I mean, sure, if I was
Well, I don't exactly get up and use magic to make my toast, but
no, I know, but like I was gonna say, like, sure, if I got like a letter through my door that said I was a wizard, yes, I would take it. But
I actually got one of those.
I feel like this is some sort of
Not,
weird
not from
fan
the actual
thing.
Hogwarts.
Yeah, like
You shouldn't be telling us this, Lucas.
I've got it up on my notice board. I was very happy until I found out it was fake.
Oh no.
how many years later did you find out it was fake?
I was
Like last week.
It was roughly the time when I ran into the wall on King's Cross.
Fair
When I
enough.
realised that maybe the letter wasn't real.
Right. Okay.
Moving on.
My 37 is Toy Story 3, which if you will
Good choice.
notice,
Good choice.
I had Toy Story as my 49, so my first one last episode. So I've put it about 12 higher than Toy Story. Because I do, but like Toy Story is a great film, but Toy Story 3 gave me all the emotions, man. Like, that's all I
agreed.
can
You've got Toy
say.
Story 2 on your list.
I was just about to ask that.
No, because that was in my 113 that I come up with, yeah. And then I had to take out some sequels to make way for other films. So,
I
but
feel like we should do an extra episode where Brad tells us the 13 that he rejected.
Yeah.
yeah, we probably should. I'd probably come up with more than 13 at the time, though. It would be dreadful. It would be like 2 hours of me just going, so there's this film? Anyway. So,
Can't believe you don't have Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 trumps Toy Story 1 and 3. That is the best
No.
one.
look, I will say Toy Story 2 is an amazing film. The only reason... do you know what? I would actually say maybe it is better than Toy Story 1. Because... and I thought I was the only one that held that opinion, by the way. Because I've said that to people and they've been like, what? No, Toy Story 2 is shit. I love Toy Story 2. But the reason I put Toy Story 1 in is because obviously it was the... I said when I was talking about it is that how that changed cinema forever. And then Toy Story 3, for me, is... I think they should have left it at Toy Story 3, to be honest. Like,
They so should have.
Toy Story 4 was bad, in my opinion.
The perfect ending.
But yeah, it was.
Toy Story 4 was just we want more money.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
And in Toy Story 3, it all ends together. They're all with a new home. Toy Story 4, oh yeah, the main character is just going to go off with this woman that left him for like 10 years, and the group's going to go off.
Toy Story 4 wasn't Toy Story 4. It was a film about Woody.
It was, wasn't it?
Literally.
Buzz was in it like for 2 scenes. Like, what was
That was a
that?
spin-off.
It really was, yeah. It felt like, you know how they say Toy Story 2 was originally meant to be a straight-to-DVD film? Toy Story 4 feels like a straight-to-DVD film. Like...
I don't remember it being in the cinemas for long.
What, Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
No, me neither, actually.
Well,
But
it shouldn't have been.
It's the spin-off
It really was, but
with a number in it.
we will forget Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
And... But yeah, no, I do
It's
agree.
like Indiana Jones 4, we just pretend it never happened.
I've never seen Indiana Jones, to be fair.
Have you not?
No, I've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark when I forgot it. I've forgotten it, so I can't say I've seen it, because
I mean, that is the best one.
yeah, but I forgot it. I didn't...
That's just not acceptable.
It's not, is it? I'll have to rewatch it.
Yes, you will.
But yeah. But yeah,
I
no.
think you have. Anyway, my number 36 is another war film. I've got quite a few war films on my list. It's Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Honourable mention for me.
Is that the one with Andrew Garfield?
Is, yes.
Yeah,
Seen it?
I think so. It's another one. I think it might have been one that I just saw. It was on, so I watched it, but not
Yeah.
properly watched it.
I really loved it. I went in thinking, I'm not really sure about it. But by the end of it, it was amazing. It was such a good film. It's quite an interesting story it covered too.
I might be getting this confused with another war film. Is that the one where there's a scene where they climb up the rope from the beach?
They normally climb up ropes in war films.
Yes, that is. I know what Lucas is on about. It is.
They're climbing up,
Like
they're
up the
climbing
cliff.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's
The
that
cliff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is that one.
Thank you. That is it. Yeah.
Where the guy doesn't he doesn't fight. He's just a medic.
Yeah.
I thought it was really. I mean, first of all, it's not like a. I mean, there's aspects of it that are like a normal war film. I think it was interesting the story that covered in it, because it told a story of a soldier that I don't think I would have ever heard about if it wasn't for this film.
Yeah.
I think they went about it really well. I mean, Andrew Garfield did really well in the role. I think it's just a really good film.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Again, I've seen it, but I just don't remember it. You know how you watch so many films and just you lose memory of.
Yeah.
Blur
Others.
into one, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've
That's
seen
why I
it.
had to check it was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, it's annoying when you lose memory because it's like I feel like now I have to go back and watch it to say I've seen it again. But I know in like a year I'll forget it again. But still,
My 36. I'm actually quite curious to see what you guys thought of this. Is Knives Out.
Oh,
I love Knives Out.
such a good film.
Thank you. I absolutely loved it.
It's so much higher on my list.
Absolutely loved Knives Out. In fact, I probably would put it higher on my list. If I could change that, I would. But it's where it is.
I really struggled not putting this on my list, but it's such an honourable mention for me. I love it.
It's not on your list.
Was seeing two of the actors like Daniel Craig and Chris Evans away from their most iconic roles.
Yeah.
Like
Do you-
get what you
Bond,
mean.
Do you know?
as Bond and Captain America not as Captain America, playing very different characters to those mainstream characters. It was really refreshing. They both did it really well.
Chris Evans did well. He was such. It was. I mean, I like. Yeah, the whole aspect of the film. I love a good murder.
I
Thinking
do as well.
thinking about it now, I would swap out one of my films for that probably on my list.
It was just so well done.
It really was
And
really
it's the
good.
fact that you spend the whole film thinking you know who did it and watching them cover it up as opposed to trying to figure out who did it.
One
Very
thing,
refreshing take on a murder mystery, very different.
one
And then
thing
a huge twist at the end, but not one that ruined it.
I will say that like I felt like who did it was quite obvious, but it wasn't obvious in the sense that I knew it, but it was like obvious, like, oh yeah, why wouldn't it be that guy?
Yeah, exactly. You get to the end and think, how did I not figure that out?
Yeah, exactly. But that's
But
what was
it's
so
very
great
well-
about it, that they
very
made
well
them
done.
many twists that you were really like, no, it can't be. But then you were like, wait, how could it not be?
Yeah, it's like obvious twist that you'd never guess because they lead you on another route.
Yeah.
Hmm?
And
But
Ryan
they're not twists that at the end you think, well, that's a bit crap.
Ryan Johnson's a great director as well. Like he did one of my favourite Star Wars films, which is The Last Jedi, which people
Yeah, I agree. That's
hated.
definitely one of my favourites.
people hated that, but it was a good film, I think. But anyway,
Especially visually.
yeah, it really was.
Like,
But-
the visuals in that film are amazing.
But that's another story anyway. But
Yeah.
no, honestly, Knives Out is a great film, and I can't
Yeah.
believe you didn't like. You wouldn't know that I liked it. Have you not seen what my name and picture are on here?
Yeah.
Hugh did it.
Luca.
Hugh did it.
I'm looking at it on my phone and the profile picture's really small.
Oh,
I've only just figured that that's Daniel Craig.
yeah, and my name's Hugh.
Ian?
You know, because like it became a meme because I went to see it with two of my friends, and it was, you know, when the guy's like, Hugh did it, Hugh, not you, Hugh. Yeah, so it became a meme. That's why I'm called Hugh did it.
But I really should have guessed that.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah. So my 36 is, and this is quite different from a lot of the others I've had, Bridget Jones' Diary.
Whoa! I never expected you to
Right?
have this.
Right? It's a brilliant rom-com, don't get me wrong, okay? And it is a
Yeah.
very enjoyable film. Why are you
I'm backing
laughing?
him up on this.
Lucas,
No,
you
I
agree,
just
don't you?
never- When I went into this, I never expected Bridget Jones's Diary to be on this list.
It is one of my favourite films. It is my 36th favourite film of all time. It is brilliant. Oh my god, it is so
Right.
good. Also, Renée Zellweger, accent-wise, I think she's the best person I've ever seen put on a British accent, to be honest.
Yeah, she did do very, very well.
Yeah,
To be
like,
fair, Americans aren't very good at doing British accents, but so yeah, she was pretty good.
I thought she was British, and then I found out she was American a few years back, and I was like, what? But, you
I've
know,
only just found that out now.
well, there you go. Like, honestly,
Right.
you'd think she was British, but let's
I had
forget
no idea.
Edge of Reason. Let's not even bring that one up. But Bridget Jones' Baby as well is okay, but Bridget Jones' Diary is really, really, really good. I think, anyway. It's like up there for the
I
rom-coms.
agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, Sophie, have you not seen it?
I've seen it, yeah. I just never, I never expected it to be on this list.
That's fair enough. That's
So
fair
she's
enough.
still laughing at you.
She probably is.
No, I'm in shock here.
Well, I didn't expect you to have tons of horror films that were, your words, films of your childhood. Okay, so...
It was one film and it was Saw at the beginning of this list.
Kevin Spacey.
Moving swiftly on, my number 35, it's a film we watched in film studies. It's The Shawshank Redemption. We did. We watched that in class.
Did someone have this before?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
I don't think I had it. Oh, I did have it.
You had it.
Yeah, now
When did we watch this in film?
Oh, we did.
Lucas is still hung up on when we watched it. The Shawshank Redemption. I mean, I'm putting this down as... We've got a thing about classic films. I'm putting this down as a classic film. I don't know if you two will, but I am.
No, I'd agree.
It's a really good film. The only thing that I dislike about it is the ending. I feel like they didn't need to have the beach scene at the end.
It could sort of ruined the whole thing for me.
Yeah.
I'd say it was unnecessary. I don't know. I wouldn't say it ruined it.
And I feel like it just annoyed me that it existed. Like, they were like, oh, we'll add this to the film, even though everyone else was like, why are you adding this? But, yeah, apart from that, I mean, it's such an amazing film. Another Morgan Freeman film, bringing that in.
My number 35 is Mamma Mia.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, good film.
It just is. It's just a good film.
No, it is a good film. I can't even lie. That's the problem. Like, I can't say...
I'm not going to deny for 1 second that I know the lyrics to every single song off by heart.
Literally. Have you seen the musical in London?
No, I haven't.
I recommend it. It's actually really good.
So
I'm
I
talking
have
about
no
shows
friends-
again. I've done
I
that
have
for
no
3
friends who've gone with me to see it.
consecutive podcasts. I've spoken about.
Sophie, can't you save this for Theatre Watch Live? Rather than...
The 3rd podcast I've done this in.
Like...
Any film that has a theatre show of it. When we mention that film, Sophie will instantly go to the theatre.
I mean, I guess in fairness, it was a show before a film, so...
Yeah, actually, so...
Well, I like ABBA's music as it is, but
It's fair.
very enjoyable film. It's just really light-hearted.
Yeah.
It's just a nice watch. So that is my film. No further justification, Your Honour.
But the second one.
I enjoyed the second one.
I haven't seen the second one,
Everyone
but...
seems to hate it. I really liked it.
I have no,
Fair enough.
I have no hate against it, no love for it. I just, it was just there.
It's
Honestly.
not as good as the first one, but it was good.
I think it was quite nice for the nostalgia of just seeing the characters again in a different environment.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But it's not, the second one's not my list, so... the first one, very good film.
My 35 is Jumanji, the original. We already talked about last episode how Robin Williams really, for, I think me and Lucas said anyway, for us was the 90s really actor.
Yeah.
And of course I had Mrs. Doubtfire, and now I have Jumanji, because I think the original Jumanji is so much fun. And without all the visual effects that the new Jumanji... Like, I love the new Jumanjis, don't get me wrong.
Oh, I don't think they're anywhere as good as the original.
I understand that, yeah.
The new ones are fun, but the original Jumanji is just brilliant.
Like, I love the original two, but... No, the new two, but the original, without all the visual effects, is even better in a weird way.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's more realistic.
Yeah, it is. And that final scene as well, like, when you see the crocodiles coming in, even in the earlier scenes when you see the elephants running through, I just love the film altogether. Sorry, I was distracted.
No, completely agree. I say that a lot.
Completely agree, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's
I
agree.
think I said that at the end of every single film you guys have mentioned. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Alright, so...
Don't you say things now?
I will. My number 34 is... I think this is my first Scorsese film. It's Shutter Island.
I haven't heard of that.
I've heard of it. It's on my list. I've never seen it. We were shown a clip in film.
It's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Was
But...
this we were shown a clip in film last year or this year?
The chances are you weren't there, Lucas. Let's just...
I was going to say, did I actually do our call?
Yeah, where were you?
This class.
It's got quite a famous. I think I'm thinking of the right film. The famous scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is washing his hands, and he washes it so much that they start bleeding.
No.
Yeah, that's quite a famous scene. It's used a lot. It's currently on Netflix, so I mean, I recommend watching it. It's long, but it's really good.
Try and find me a not long Scorsese film.
Yeah, Great Shave.
That's a short.
Yeah, but
There you go. It's short though.
Is that cheating or not?
I don't know. Have you seen The Great Shave?
Yeah.
We're going off topic. It's good.
Disturbing.
Yeah, but it's good. It's evidently Scorsese.
Yeah. Very, very Scorsese.
Yeah, I've gone off track a bit. Shutter Island. It's really interesting. It's another film set in an asylum. I seem to have a theme.
Admitting it is the first stage.
Oh well, thank you. Yeah, basically, I think it's Mark Ruffalo is also in this film.
I was going to say I thought
Leonardo
Ruffalo was in
DiCaprio.
it.
Yeah, Ruffalo and Leonardo DiCaprio in this, and basically go off to this island. It's an asylum, and they have to investigate the disappearance of a patient.
It's got Ben Kingsley in it.
Indeed, I think.
I have no idea who that is.
How do you not know who Ben Kingsley is?
I
I do. What are
know.
you doing?
Who is that?
He's iconic.
What's he been in?
He's in. I'll say X-Men, but I feel like that's not right.
No. This is possibly not like it's one of his worst roles, but you know the Mandarin in Iron Man 3?
Oh, Christ, no. Really?
Yeah, but he's actually a really good actor. Just, that was a really poor role.
He's also in Hugo.
Yes, he was in Hugo. He is
Oh, yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah.
voiced in Jungle Book, the new one. Weirdly, he was in a production of Twelfth Night, which I only know from English literature. But
She turned up to one of your subjects.
yeah, that was probably the worst one to show up for. He was in Schindler's List as well.
It's not on my list, I don't think. Crikey.
No, it's not mine.
Random honourable mention. Anyway, Lucas.
Yes, my next one is 34. Is Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I enjoyed this. I actually went to go and see this. It was my first Spider-Man film in the cinema, and I actually really enjoyed it.
I think this was my third in the cinema. Probably the first decent one.
Because before, normally I would have just gone to the cinema to watch I watched the Marvel films, but normally I just go to the cinema to watch, the big ones, like Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, sorry, I'll go for Far From Home.
I agreed with that. I saw all the Marvel films in cinema. But
Wait, which one did you say again, sorry? Was it Far From Home or...
Far From Home.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say...
The standout for me was Mysterio.
Yeah, I personally fucking loved this film, honestly. A lot more than Homecoming.
Yeah.
For me, it was on, Captain America Winter Soldier level, to be honest. But
Yes, it so was. It was so good.
it
I mean,
really
it
is.
was cool in that you kind of knew Mysterio was a villain from the start. And I think from the first trailer, I predicted that the elemental things weren't real.
Yeah.
You actually?
Yeah, but you got to remember I'm a huge comic book nerd, so I had a lot of knowledge to base that off on.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed it, and I think Mysterio was just fantastic.
He was a good villain, actually.
And it was clever how they did him with the motion capture and everything. I thought that was a really clever adaptation of his character.
I get what you mean.
Because in the comics, he was like a special effects artist, and all his stuff was fake. So I was really impressed with how they managed to adapt that to a modern situation. I thought that was really, really well done.
Yeah, so my 34 is The Lion King.
Hey!
As in the 1993 version.
The old one.
Sophie, not the old one. The best one. The only one.
I've got to let you into a little secret. I didn't enjoy either Lion Kings.
Bye,
What?
Sophie.
Not even the original. You didn't enjoy the original Lion
No,
King?
I watched it and I was like, okay, well, this is like a Disney film. Oh my god. Simba got on my nerves so much.
It's peak Renaissance Disney. It's like...
Yeah.
Sophie, what are you on about?
Just because it didn't have, like, an asylum or Kevin Spacey or blood.
I shut up. I just
violent
didn't enjoy
death
it.
Or some dark deep secret or anything. It's based off Hamlet. Is that better?
Wait, really? That makes me dislike it.
Did you not know it was based off Hamlet?
No, I don't like
Uncle
Shakespeare. I thought it was based off, like, lions. Honestly, Sophie, I can't believe you don't like it. It is a... I don't want to use the word...
I hate it, but I can appreciate it as a film.
That's not good enough.
I just feel like every week you're lessening your chances of ever returning to this podcast.
Not to be that person, but you don't have anyone else to edit it, so...
Well, she speaks the truth. So this is a call out for anyone listening who's an editor.
It's a new place available. No, I have an opinion about this film. I'm not a massive fan.
Don't dig more.
I'm gonna stop talking now.
Tell us what your next dark, depressing film is.
Not depressing. Oh, great. So yeah, it kind of is dark and depressing. So my number 33 is American Psycho.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
The fact that it says Psycho in the title.
Was this the American remake of Just You, Sophie? Your Life, the British Psycho? Like.
No, it's not. It's such a good film. And directed by a woman, may I just add. I mean, there's not many female directors around, and I do like when female directors actually make good films. But American Psycho is such a good film, and I wasn't allowed to watch it for ages because my parents were like, it's too bloody and violent for you. But then I kind of secretly watched it, and I loved it. So
hang on. How old? You're an adult now, and they let you watch Saw when you were like 5. But American Psycho you weren't allowed to watch recently.
That is correct. That is the calculations here.
Right. Okay. Carry on, I suppose. Just...
My film's not about a twisted psychopath, Sophie, so
really?
You want to stop listening. Mine is possibly one of my favourite Disney classics, which is the 1951 Alice in Wonderland.
Seen that? I don't think I've seen that.
I've never seen it.
It's such a batshit crazy film. I love it.
I thought you were going to say it's such a shit film, and I was like, right, okay.
Nothing that happens makes any sense, but it's so enjoyable, so wacky, and it's so far from reality that it's just so much fun. Plus, the Cheshire Cat will always be one of my favourite fictional characters.
So, I mean, I haven't seen it, but...
Watch it.
Move on to my 33, which is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yes! Thank you.
Because this is one of the top Marvel films, in my opinion.
This is the top Marvel film.
It is so fucking good, honestly.
It is so well. I'm not actually going to talk because I'll end up talking for literal hours about how good this film was.
You could go on longer than I went on about Rocket Man, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, this is in my top 5, and I will end up going on for so long about it, so I'm going to let you talk.
Okay, well, all I'll say is, honestly, this film shocked me at how great it is. It's one of my favourites. Obviously, not my most favourite Marvel film. I have other but it's my top 3 favourite Marvel films. I think it's just so good. It's
What is
honestly,
your favourite Marvel film?
well, that will come in the list, as this is a list of our favourite films, Lucas.
Oh,
I will not reveal.
I don't mind it.
But it is so good, and I think I'll leave it there just because I know Lucas has it in his top 5. So 3
You'll
episodes
get a
away.
whole essay spoken about it when we get there, don't worry.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Can't wait.
Director's commentary. I'll take you through the whole film.
We're seeing. My number 32 is more light-hearted than my last 4.
It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's Schindler's List. No, it's Shrek 2. That's not even a joke. It is. Okay, listen. I don't normally go for sequels, but this is the best fucking sequel to a film I have ever seen. I absolutely love this film. I can watch it so many times. It's just so good, and even the soundtrack's good. And it makes me so mad that it's a Shrek film that's so amazing, but it's just wow.
Wait, why is that? Shrek is like a treasure to the film industry. Why is that mad? It should make you mad. Shrek is brilliant.
Sure.
What are you on about? Shrek is amazing. It really skyrocketed DreamWorks. Why is Lucas over here laughing with Mamma Mia on his list at Shrek? Shrek is brilliant.
Because I swear.
I'm not laughing at the choice. It's just how Sophie was so right about how different it is. But if you look at all her films on this list up to now, and then it just instantly changes to Shrek 2.
Bringing a lot of from films, genres. I could say
How
Shrek
old
2.
were you when you were allowed to watch this?
I actually just watched it last week. First
Wow, she had to become an adult to watch Shrek. My
I
God.
got to watch Shrek. No, it wasn't. I watched it ages ago.
Her dad,
I watched it
sat
so
her
many
down,
times. I watched, 20
Sophie?
times.
Sophie, I bought you this DVD last week. It's a new one you're allowed to watch now. It's
She
Shrek.
actually got it for her 18th birthday.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
she
I
probably
got it for my
did.
18th birthday. No. I have to say though, the entire dinner scene. I know, the whole of that scene. It's quite sad, but I have a devout love for this film. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Alright. I mean, I don't disagree. It's a fantastic film. I just found it so funny how different it was to the rest of your choices.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, my 32 is...
I just want to say Shrek
Right.
2 is an honourable mention for me. Shrek 2 is an honourable mention for me.
Just an honourable mention.
I haven't got any honourable mentions.
Just shout them out, not randomly, but if we say something you want it on your list.
Yeah, we'll do. Anyway, 32 for me is a film called The Intern.
Wait, the
That
one with
sounds
Robert De Niro
so
and
brilliant.
Anne Hathaway.
It is the one with Robert De Niro,
Is
and
it?
I don't deny for 1 second it is not his best performance.
I haven't seen it actually. I've just seen loads of posts. I meant to watch it at the time. I just.
I absolutely love it. It's so different to any kind of film that I'd ever usually like. But it's so light-hearted. It's so easy to watch.
I love light-hearted
The main
films.
character, Robert De Niro's character, reminds me of my granddad a lot. So I suppose it kind of holds a special place to me.
Isn't it a
in that
rom-com
regard.
though?
No, it's more like a comedy drama. It's not romance as such. There's romance in it, but it's not the focus of the film.
Okay.
It's just a really cute film, really. But like I said, I think the main reason is the guy reminds me of my granddad loads. So there you go. That's my number.
My 32. I am very excited for this film. I hope you guys have seen it. Is Birdman or the Unexpected Virtue of whatever it is.
Michael Keaton, isn't it?
It is. It's primarily Birdman,
Yes.
but it has a bracketed name. But yeah, it's a brilliant film. Have any of you guys seen it?
I can't say I have.
I've seen half of it.
Everyone
And
talk.
I didn't stop watching it because I wasn't enjoying it. I just had to leave. I was watching it at home and had to go somewhere.
Had to leave the cinema.
You need to watch the
Yeah.
rest. Honestly, everyone started talking about how 1917 is so amazing because it's one long take. This was one of the.
No, that was in one long take.
Yeah, this was in one
Yeah.
long take, 5 years before 1917. So, this was
But
brilliant.
1917 was Roger Deakins, and we love Roger Deakins.
His birthday yesterday. Sorry.
It was his birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
He and I went out for dinner.
That wasn't social distancing, was it? Going out for dinner with Roger
I didn't
Deakins.
say we were next to each other. We were at a distance. but
I
we
bet you
went
were
out.
later into the night, though, weren't you?
Jesus Christ.
it's,
Sophie on the line.
it's not every night you get to take out Roger Deakins, especially on his birthday. You must have given him a good present. Anyway, nonetheless.
Moving on so quickly.
Birdman, honestly, one whole take, but the whole story anyway, not even forgetting the one whole take, the whole story of the film is brilliant. I love it. It's wacky at towards the end, but not in a weird way. It fits it somehow with it's just brilliant, honestly. It's about Sophie, have you seen it?
Haven't.
Okay, so this is just telling you what it's about. It's about a guy that's a stage director. So you'll like this because you like Fear to Watch Live. Anyway, it's a stage director, and I think he's sort of struggling, but he sort of has an alcohol problem. I think I'm sort of remembering. Lucas, is that right? He's got some. Anyway, who's Michael Keaton?
Google.
Michael Keaton, and Edward Norton is in it as well. I believe.
Is he?
I believe he is. I want to say he is.
Yeah, he is. I don't remember him being in it.
I feel like he
Emma
is.
Stone. Oh.
Yeah. And honestly, it's just brilliant take on really how in New York, sort of the struggling life of a stage director who I believe he used to be famous. I could be getting things very wrong here. As I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier,
Brad.
your memory worsens when you
He
see
was
so
an
many films. He was an actor. Okay.
Not a stage.
Either way, he was the main
Director,
actor though, right? He
and-
was the main actor.
Michael Keaton plays an actor who's no longer famous, who used to play a superhero called Birdman.
Yeah, so yeah, I was on the right line. So like his career, he was like famous before, and yeah, I thought he was like director because he's so the film is really
you're right.
focal on
Sorry,
him.
he was an actor, and then in the film, he is now a stage director.
Okay,
Oh, my bad.
right, okay. So yeah, so he is a stage director who was an actor, famous actor like before, but now he's a stage director in New York, struggling, and he has to direct this play. But it's all done through one take, and it's brilliant, really. And it's sort of him conflicting with his problems as well. And I think he has a family member. I think it's a daughter or someone that's in it as well. I can't remember, but yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, no, honestly, Sophie, I would highly recommend it. Lucas, watch the rest of it.
Something I need to watch.
Because
I'm gonna rewatch it.
it is brilliant. Also, I might go rewatch it actually, even though I remember it. I actually surprised I remembered it. Not because it's a bad film, because I forget most films, but that sounds really bad. Like I just watch them and forget them, but like I just forgot it.
The film student, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but that's because I watch so many films. Anyway, and TV. I watch a lot of TV. Anyway, Birdman. Honestly, watch it.
Okay, so my last film of this episode, the film I'm pretty sure neither of you would have heard of. I hadn't heard of it until I came across it on my film poster. It's called Mary and Max.
No.
I've never heard of that. How old is it?
Basically, it is in 2009, and it stars Philip Seymour Hoffman. Basically, it's a cartoon, but it's not like a children's film, or like it's more than that. Basically, there's this young girl over in Australia, and she befriends this guy, like they're like pen pals. She befriends this older man, like he's in his 40s, 50s. He has no friends. She befriends him over like pen pal, like writing letters to each other, and it's basically just how they keep on writing letters backwards and forwards to each other for literally years. Then one day they meet, and then there's like a massive plot twist at the end. I personally cried, and I don't cry at that many films, but it was really a hard-hitting film.
A plot summary of it. It sounds a bit odd.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you Google it and you read the plot summary, it doesn't do it justice, which has really annoyed me. Because if you read the plot summary, it makes it sound really like
As an
a predator.
example, Daisy's only comforts are her pet rooster Ethel, her favourite food sweet condensed milk, and a cartoon show called The Noblets.
It sounds so strange. And I mean, there's aspects to it that you look at it and be like, okay, that is weird. But in the end, it's a really sweet film. And I don't think if you read like the synopsis of it, it doesn't do it justice, because I feel like it puts people off. But it's a really nice film, and it's not like he's psychopathic. Sounds like a
It
film,
looks
yeah.
like it should have been directed by Tim Burton.
It does actually, but like it's not one of my past films that are like scary or have loads of death in it or anything like that. I think it is genuinely a heartwarming film with a really good plot twist at the end.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime if anyone's got that.
My number 31, I think you already had this, Sophie. Possibly Brad, I think it was you. Is The Dark Knight.
It's me.
Brilliant. I don't need to justify that, I don't think. Just
I don't mean to speak any more about it because we covered it last time, but yeah,
it's The Dark Knight.
such a good film.
It's an incredible film. Heath Ledger's Joker makes it. Like
Yeah.
as overrated as some people may say he is, which by now maybe he is a little bit, but it's well deserved.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, he's just so good.
He's fantastic. He's genuinely terrifying. One of the few comic book villains that I've ever actually, like, you feel like are actually quite threatening and scary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's all I need to say for The Dark Knight.
And my 31 is... Does anyone have anything on Dark Knight? Okay. My 31, the final one of this episode, is... I feel like you might be a bit shocked. Bridesmaids.
What did you say?
Bridesmaids. I did say Bridesmaids.
No, I wasn't shocked. I didn't actually hear you.
Bridesmaids. Yeah. Do you know what? Bridesmaids. I hope. Have you both seen it? It is so good. I can't.
I've only seen bits.
Oh, Sophie,
I'm
the
a
whole
little
thing.
confused.
Why are you confused? It's so good.
Your list's gone a little strange, Brad.
No, because mine has variety. Like, honestly though,
Mine's got variety. It's got Shrek.
That's the variety.
it has Shrek and every horror film in existence. Mine actually has, mine has teen films, rom-coms, it has action films, it has horror films, whatnot. But anyway,
Hey, I've got variety.
yeah, Lucas has
I'm really
variety.
mad. I've got variety.
Sophie, don't try and
Every
pretend you have
film
variety.
ever plus Shrek.
I have more than that.
Name one.
Shrek 2.
So, other than Shrek would be my point.
The Goonies.
That's still relatively dark.
Jojo Rabbit.
That is dark, it has death in it.
Yeah.
Flushed Away.
The Goonies is a surprisingly dark film when you look back at it.
Flushed Away.
Flushed Away is set in a dark, dingy pipeline for
Death of
poo.
Stalin.
That
how
has...
does that not instantly tell you that that's dark?
It's a comedy. Stalin's dead.
It's about Stalin.
Dead. He's dead. It's a comedy.
It's still about Stalin.
Anyway,
Your film,
we've
Brad.
digressed. So Sophie has seen bits. Have you seen it, Lucas?
I have not, no.
I feel like you're actually missing. Like, I've put it this high because I loved it. I've seen it 3 times.
I probably really enjoy it. It sounds like really.
It's got it's got Rose Byrne in it, Maya Rudolph. It's got Melissa McCarthy, who was actually nominated for an Oscar for her role in this film. So it's not like just a silly film. Like, it is just a normal midnight film, but it was Oscar nominated. Like, it is very good in terms of filmmaking. It's got
looks like something I'd really enjoy. It looks like my kind of film.
Yeah, it's got who's that actor, Sophie, that's Irish that we were talking about the other day when we were doing our
Rose Byrne?
No, the actor
No,
is
she's not, is she?
the main guy in it.
Chris O'Dowd.
Chris O'Dowd is in it. And I feel like I've missed one. Oh, of course, the main character, Kristen Wiig. That whole and Wendy McLendon-Covey is in it as well, who is she plays the Beverly Goldberg in the Goldbergs, the ABC sitcom. So the whole cast is amazing cast, I'd say, and it really opened up opportunities, definitely from Melissa McCarthy. I mean, in one of her very first mainstream films, getting nominated for an Oscar is just incredible. Yeah. Obviously, Wendy McLendon-Covey went to star in the Goldbergs as one of the main characters on a 7-season show and still going. Maya Rudolph is in everything now. Rose Byrne is in everything. My point proven, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's honestly a brilliant film, brilliant storytelling. Just that feel. You know, we talk about that feel good. That is that feel good film.
Yeah.
I always go on quite long, so I apologise, but it's just because I want to get my point across, and yeah. But honestly, it's great. I would definitely watch that. You both need to watch that. It's funny as well. Like, it's very funny. And I will not lie to you, for films to make me laugh, like, I find stand-up comedy funny, but, like, for films to make me laugh, it's quite hard. But it is very funny. So, yeah.
I'll put it on the list.
Anyway, that is that for this episode, unless anybody has any other things to say on anything.
Nope.
Sophie, even if you had anything, we would just ignore it anyway. So, that is it for this episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe with your favourites. Check out our Instagram page, which posts all the newest trailers, the weekly TV premieres, the streaming arrivals, and what's in cinemas. Obviously, we haven't been posting what's in cinemas recently because cinemas are shut. And yeah, so join us for next episode for our 30 to 21.